Final phase of national movement, the Congress and world affairs. The period between the two world wars saw the emergence of fascism in Italy and Nazism in Germany. The Congress condemned both for their racist and undemocratic ideas. The Congress even pledged to support the British in the event of a war against fascism, provided India was first granted independence. World War II and the national movement. The Second World War broke out in 1939. In this war, Britain fought against Nazi Germany and fascist Italy. Without consulting the representatives of Indian people and the Congress leaders, the Viceroy announced that India was automatically involved in Britain's war with Germany. The Congress ministries resigned in protest. The Muslim League celebrated this event as it ended Congress rule in the provinces. In 1940, at the Lahore session of Muslim League, Muhammad Ali Jinnah announced the formation of Pakistan as the League's goal. In August 1940, the British turned down the Congress demand for immediate self-government. In October 1940, Gandhiji gave the call for individual satyagraha. The volunteers made anti-war speeches and courted arrest one by one to show that India was being forcibly drawn into the war. Cripps Mission. The pressure from the British allies in the war, along with the threat of a possible Japanese invasion, forced the British to send the Cripps Mission in 1942 to negotiate with Indian leaders and to submit its proposals. The Japanese were fighting against Britain in the Second World War and were advancing towards India. The Cripps Mission offered dominion status after the war, that is, the Indians could have their own government but still remain under the British Empire. The provinces and the princely states had a choice. If they opted for the better, then they would have to sign a separate agreement with the British. The Congress was not satisfied as it wanted an immediate transfer of power to India and therefore talks broke down. Quit India Movement, 1942. Gandhiji wanted immediate British withdrawal from India. On 8th August 1942, the Quit India Resolution was adopted at the Congress session in Bombay. Gandhiji gave the people the motto of do or die, that is either free India or die in the attempt. On 9th August, the members of Congress Working Committee were arrested and the Congress was banned. People destroyed symbols of British authority such as rail tracks, post offices and police stations. They set up parallel governments in various parts of India. It was clear now that the transfer of power was round the corner. The Congress worked by sending messages through secret radio transmissions. Ram Manohar Lohia, Jai Prakash Narayan, Aruna Asif Ali were among the leaders who led the movement at this time. Although the movement was brought under control, it shook the foundations of British rule in India. During the Second World War, India also suffered due to food shortages and involvement of Indian soldiers in the war. There was also a terrible famine in Bengal in 1943, which took a toll of 30 lakh people. The British imported food to meet the needs of the army, while the Indians starved.
Azad Hind Fauj. After the Quit India movement, there was a lull in political activities in India till Subhash Chandra Bose came to fore. He left the Congress in 1939 due to differences of opinion with Gandhiji. Unlike Gandhiji, he felt that British would leave India only by the force of arms. Bose secretly left India in 1941 and arrived in Berlin. From there, he went to Japan, where under the initiative of Rash Bihari Bose, he raised Azad Hind Fauj or the Indian National Army, INA, comprising Indian soldiers of British Army captured by the Japanese in the war. Netaji taught his army the slogan Jai Hind. The INA joined the Japanese forces and advanced forward India via Burma. They planted the Indian flag in Manipur. With the defeat of Japan in Second World War in 1945, the INA had to abandon all the plans. Many of its soldiers were arrested. Subsequently, the government instituted their public trial at the Red Fort. This roused the people's patriotic feelings. As a result, despite being convicted, the sentences of INA leaders were remitted and soon they were set free. Around this time, unrest also spread to the Royal Indian Air Force and Navy. Thus, it became quite clear that the British Empire could no longer depend on Indian military personnel. This realization hastened the process towards country's freedom. Transfer of power. By the end of Second World War, Britain had become economically too weak to sustain its empire in India. In the post-war elections to the legislatures, the Congress won all the general seats and the Muslim League won the seats reserved for Muslims. Due to widespread unrest in India, the British Prime Minister, Clement Attlee, decided to transfer the power. Cabinet Mission. In March 1946, the British government sent a 3-member cabinet mission headed by Lord Pethick Lawrence to start the process of transferring power to India. The mission discussed with the Indian leaders the terms and modalities for the transfer of power. The mission proposed an interim government which would form a constituent assembly to frame a constitution for a free and federal India. Accordingly, in September 1946, an interim cabinet headed by Jawaharlal Nehru was formed by the Congress. The Muslim League hesitantly joined the cabinet in October. The Muslim League observed 16th August 1946 as Direct Action Day for the creation of Pakistan, and there was a large-scale communal violence. The League also boycotted the Constituent Assembly, which started working on 9th of December 1946 under the presidentship of Dr. Rajendra Prasad to frame the new Constitution of India.